Winkler, your life transitions coach. And today I'm back for the second part of our three-part series, which I have titled The Payoffs, the Power, and the Purpose of Self Reflection. So, yesterday I talked to you and gave you four reasons why practicing self reflection is an extreme form or an extreme act of self care. Today, I want to spend some time talking to you about or giving you three powerful reasons why you should make self reflection a daily habit. So now, before I give you those reasons, I want to share a little story about me and how self reflection helped me to heal after I called off my wedding and called off my engagement 42 days before the actual wedding date. So I was obviously in the throes of planning for my wedding, and invitations had gone out. The dress, had my dress. My girls had their dresses, and as life would have it, as things progressed, I just didn't feel like this was the path for my life. And so, through a series of um, experiences and incidences, um, I felt like, yeah, I can't do this. And so, canceled the wedding. It was a very hard decision to make. It wasn't a decision that I entered into lightly. And while it was something that I felt I needed to do, it still didn't feel good doing it. I still loved my fiance. We still loved each other, but it just wasn't right for us. And so after, calling everything off and going through all the motions of canceling the vendors and informing our family and informing our friends, um, I realized that I needed to do something to keep me from spiraling out of control and to keep me from spiraling into a depression. And so I started journaling. I started journaling. Now, I'm making it sound like journaling was something new to me. It isn't, it wasn't. I've been journaling since I was 12 years old. I'm 53. So I've been a journaler all my life, basically. And so what I found in my journaling sessions with myself is that journaling, self reflection helped me to process. I had a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings, a lot of thoughts. I had some self doubt. I had some fears. I had all these things swirling around in my head and in my heart. And I needed a way to get those things out. And I needed a way to um, come back to me because I just felt so disconnected from myself. And I felt like, did I do the right thing? What if I had kept moving forward with the plans? How would things have transpired? What would my life be like? So I just had all those thoughts that I needed to process. And to keep myself sane and to keep myself from losing it, I journaled. And I did this daily. I did it every morning and I did it every evening. And what I've come to realize in that instance, as I was going through that traumatic experience, was that journaling for me, self reflection for me, was a form of therapy. It was a form of therapy because what I realized is that the answers that I was looking for, I had them. They were inside of me, but I needed a way to allow them to come out. I needed a way to sort them out and process them and put things in order and put make things make sense. That's what I needed in my life. And so that was my self-reflection journey during that time. I have since had to do self reflection on numerous other occasions, but that's one that really stands out for me. And so I wanted to share that story with you because, for many of us, we go through these experiences in life, we have challenges in life, we have things that, um, that make us second guess ourselves. But through the act of self reflection, you can come up with you can sort things out. You can come up with answers the answers that you're seeking. And so that was definitely the case for me. And obviously, the process of healing took a couple of years. Like you don't just you're not just in love with someone one day and out of love the next. So that just does not happen. And so there was a long period of time that I needed to consult with myself on a regular basis, to check in with myself on a regular basis, just to make sure I was okay. And there were days that I was okay. And then there were days that I wasn't. And so I suspect that that might be the case for you. I'm guessing that you haven't had to break off an engagement, but maybe you've lost a job. Maybe you have lost a pet. Maybe you've lost a loved one, and when these traumatic experiences happen to us, we need some way to process and we need some way to sort things out. And so self reflection is definitely a tool and a habit that I would encourage you to get into just for your own sanity and just to allow yourself some clarity of mind. And so I want to share with you 4 ways in which I made self reflection a daily habit. And so the first thing is, like I said, I sat down the same time every day to journal and to do some self reflection. I did it every morning before work, and I did it every evening at the end of the day before I went to sleep, because I really didn't want to go to sleep with all those thoughts swirling and swirling and swirling around in my head. So I needed to have a way to get them out, dump them out, so that, okay, I sorted that out. I figured some things out. It's out on paper. Now I can go to sleep and have some peace, have some peaceful and restful sleep. And so I participated in the practice of self-reflection the same time every day. That was my appointment with myself. I was the counselor and I was also the counselee. And every day, twice a day, I had that appointment with myself. So that was one way. The second way is that I walked every morning before work. See, when you participate and practice self-reflection, it's not always about journaling. It's not always about writing things down. That's definitely um, something you want to get into the practice of. But there are other forms of self-reflection, and for me, another form was walking. Walking for me allowed me to clear my head. I did it in the mornings, in the stillness and in the quietness of the morning when there wasn't a lot of hubbub, and I made sure I walked in an area. Certainly, I wanted to be safe, but I walked in an area that was peaceful. There was beautiful trees and flowers, beautiful homes, and I felt safe. I felt serene. I felt at peace. And each morning I walked, I, I, I felt like I was getting a little bit more of that peace and a little bit more of my sanity started to return to me. And so I walked every morning before work. And that was, again, just another way to get some of the questions that were swirling around in my head to get those questions answered and to allow myself to experience some clarity. So, number one, I sat down at the same time every day to journal. Number two, I walked each morning before work. And number three, I ended the day by just simply jotting down some thoughts about the day and how well the day went, or you know what what I needed to work on, for the next day. It wasn't always about the craziness that was swirling around. It was also about bringing some order back into my life. And the way that I did that was to, at the end of the day, assess the day to determine what went well, how well I was able to handle situations, and what I needed to um, work on moving forward. So that was the third way I did my self reflection. And then a fourth way is that I shared my thoughts publicly. Certainly not the deep, deep, only me and Jesus moments thoughts, not those, but I, as part of my reinvention journey, I went on a weight loss journey, and I committed myself to a full year of um, devoting myself to taking care of my physical body. And I blogged about the journey every day for 365 days straight, didn't break a day, didn't miss a day. I journaled I blogged about the journey. And so I was able to share publicly, my reinvention journey. And so those are four ways that I was able to practice self reflection and to do so daily. Daily. Do you hear what I'm saying? I did those four things every day. And I came out on top. I came out on top. I By the end, it took me about 2.5 years to really start to feel like myself again. Don't let that time frame scare you. That's how long it took me. Um, but by that time, I started to come alive, and that's why I named my business "Come Alive in 365." That's why I named my blog "Come Alive in 365," because when you commit yourself to yourself for an extended period of time, for me, it was a year. Um, some marvelous and some magnificent and some wonderful things begin to take shape. And that was the case for me. All kinds of things became my new experience and my new reality. And I loved my life. I love my life. I love my life now. And so I want to encourage you to really get into the practice of self reflection in whatever form that works best for you. Again, for me, I'm a journaler. I am also walking, being in nature, maybe getting still, getting quiet, spending Sunday morning, with a cup of tea, no TV, no phone, no social media, just a journal, just a journal, you know, and allowing your thoughts to flow freely. That is so cathartic. I cannot tell you. You can save a whole lot of money in counseling if you just get into the practice of self-reflection and journaling. And so again, that was my story. Those are the things that I did. And I want to just now share with you just three benefits, three reasons why you should think about making self reflection a daily habit. Number one is it helps you to learn from your mistakes. Self reflection helps you to learn from your mistakes. I have a document that I keep, and it's called I'll Never Do That Again. And the list is long, let me tell you. But I keep this because through my self-reflection practice, obviously in my life, in your life, we've all made mistakes. But hopefully, when you make a mistake, the goal is to learn from it so that you'll never do that again. And so I keep a list because I've been able to see some patterns, see some things within my self-reflection time that I can say, you know what, right here, that's where I made my mistake, and I'll never do that again. So that's one reason, one powerful reason to make self-reflection a daily habit. Number two is self-reflection gives you some great and marvelous and wonderful ideas. It just gives you ideas. When you allow your thoughts to flow and you don't edit them and you don't um, guard and put boundaries around your thoughts, all kinds of great ideas start to conceptualize, and it's kind of like, you know, for me, a lot of my wonderful ideas, my brainstorm ideas, the things that, people ask me, oh my God, how did you come up with that? Come two ways: one, through self reflection, and two, in the shower. So my shower time, that's part of my meditation, that's part of my self reflection time, because that's when, for some reason, that's when the creativity doors in my mind open up, and I'm able to come up with great ideas. When I'm sitting quietly with my journal and I'm processing and I'm thinking and the thoughts are flowing, that's when the great ideas begin to flow. And then the third reason why you should consider making self reflection a daily habit is that it gives you perspective. It gives you perspective. It's almost like through self reflection, you have an opportunity to take a step back and get an aerial view of your life. You get to see the whole thing. And then you get to see that while you may think your life is falling apart, while you may think your life is in the toilet, while you may think, I don't know how I'm ever going to get over this, but through self reflection, you are able to put some things into perspective, and you'll start to see that, you know what, that wasn't so bad after all. You know what, that was the best thing I have done for myself in a very long time. You begin to put your life into perspective, and you begin to see things differently. And when you begin to see things differently, again, that's when you open yourself up to new possibilities. And with new possibilities comes change. And with change comes some magnificent and wonderful experiences. So I hope that by me sharing my story and how I have made self reflection and, quite honestly, journaling a daily habit, I hope that you have gotten some ideas as to um, what you can begin doing. Again, if journaling isn't your thing, which I can't imagine why it wouldn't be, but If journaling isn't, maybe you can, maybe bullet point your thoughts. Just, there's no rhyme or reason. You can mind map your thoughts. There's no rhyme or reason how you dump, just as long as you dump. And so, keeping in mind that the reasons why you might want to make self reflection a daily habit is it helps you learn from your mistakes. It gives you some great ideas and it helps to give you and your life some perspective. So I hope that you have found this valuable. Um, Tomorrow, I will be sharing 6 ways self reflection improves your life. Six, 6 ways that self reflection improves your life. So I hope that you will join me. And in the meantime, you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you soon. Love you. Smooches.